As you are waking up on this Friday, we're covering a violent night in Albuquerque.
Police are actually investigating 2 shootings overnight. News 13's Catherine Mazzone is live at the scene of one of them, a church in Northeast Albuquerque. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Crystal. I'm at Faith Lutheran Church here near the corner of Spain and Eubank. Now, here, police discovered one man dead in a pool of blood on the stairs of this church with a gun lying next to him. Now, this is what it looked like last night. After officers arrived, they found the man with at least 1 gunshot wound. Again, he was already dead when they got there. The call came in as a suicide, but police still aren't sure whether the gunshot was self-inflicted. Not long after they arrived on scene, police were called to another shooting near Montgomery and Eubank. The 911 caller told police they found a man inside a car bleeding from gunshot wounds to his torso and maybe even his neck. He was rushed to the hospital and into surgery. At last check, he's listed as critical. Police say at this time they're not looking for any suspects in these 2 shootings.
We're just trying to investigate and find out if we have to look for suspects, what witnesses were around. We're interviewing witnesses and just trying to find out what happened in both of these incidences and if they are connected or if they aren't connected.
Police say they intend on interviewing the caller who dialed 911 for that second shooting. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Catherine. We will continue to follow this story and bring you updates as they do come into our newsroom.
We could learn more details this morning about a home invasion in an upscale southeast Albuquerque neighborhood that has people who live there on edge.
Residents of the Volterra subdivision southeast of Juan de Bo in Central tell us 3 armed men broke into an older couple's home just after 9 o'clock in the morning yesterday. They say the men had guns and somehow tied up the couple. Neighbors say the homeowners were pistol whipped and the man had a large gash on the back of his head. We're told the men ransacked the home for 20 to 30 minutes and then made off with something valuable.
They were really scared, and then, it's been a really nice area, but, they don't feel really good.
We're told the 3 men were wearing sunglasses and hats. We have not been able to confirm the report by police. We're expecting to hear more details later on this morning. The Neighborhood Association says it's an active investigation but would not comment any further on this. This morning, new details about the Animas River spill. This time, the owner of the Gold King mine is speaking out, saying the EPA had threatened him with fines when he would not give them access to his property. According to the Washington Times, Todd Hennis opposed having the EPA investigate leakage from the inactive mine because he had tangled with the agency in previous years over its work on another mine. He says the EPA told him if he did not give them access within 4 days, they would fine him $35,000. The EPA has admitted federal officials accidentally unleashed more than 3 million gallons of contaminated water into the Animas River earlier this month.
New this morning, a woman claiming to be a witness in the investigation of Jared Fogle says the FBI had her record her conversations with the former Subway spokesman. Rochelle Herman, a TV journalist in Florida, says Fogle told her he thought middle school girls were, quote, hot. She says he talked about recording video of children with hidden cameras.
I had 2 young children at the time, and he talked to me about installing cameras, hidden cameras in their rooms, and asked me if I would choose which child I would like him to watch.
Herman says she hopes that a judge gives Fogle the maximum sentence under his plea deal, which included between 5 and 12.5 years in prison.
This morning, crews are bracing for even more wildfires in Washington state. The red flag warning was issued for the eastern part of the state until 5 this evening because temps could reach above 90 degrees with very low humidity. So far, 3 firefighters were killed battling the Washington state fires in northern Washington. Fire crews are still struggling to contain at least 100 wildfires ranging in the west, which include Idaho, Oregon, Montana, and in California. Also happening today, attorneys are expected to be back in the courtroom for jury selection in the case of a mother accused of disfiguring her son during a DWI crash. Valerie Rhino was arrested in 2012. Eyewitnesses saw her speeding on I-40 through the East Mountains. She then allegedly hit a divider and rolled her car. Her 8-year-old son lost some fingers in that crash. 2 other kids were also in the vehicle. Rhino admitted to having a few drinks and taking Xanax before getting behind the wheel. She's charged with child abuse and DWI.
Happening in just a few weeks now, the trial for the stepfather of Omari Varela is expected to begin. And we've learned that Varela's 6-year-old sister will testify during that trial. Stephen Casaus is accused of not reporting ongoing abuse of his 9-year-old stepson, Omari, that ultimately led to his death. The judge ruled that Omari's sister will not be in the same room as her stepfather. Omari died in December 2013. Prosecutors say he was kicked to death by his mother, and Casaus did nothing to stop it. Cynthia Varela Casaus' trial is on hold while the state decides if she is competent to stand trial.
This morning, the drama between the parents of Dylan Redwine continues. News 13 has learned the father, who's now a person of interest in Dylan's death, is preparing to take his ex-wife to court. Mark Redwine claims Dylan's mother, Elaine Hall's actions led to their son's death. He says she led a concerted campaign to blame him for the death and influenced police to treat him as the only suspect. Dylan disappeared nearly 3 years ago while staying with his father near Durango. The lawsuit claims it is more likely that Dylan left his father's home, possibly encouraged by his mother, and met with whomever caused his death. Elaine Hall filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Redwine back in June.
6:38 happening today. APS's Nucinda Community Stadium will get its new look today. This is what the stadium field will look like when workers finish the new paint job this morning. APS and Nucinda Credit Union agreed on an 8-year naming rights deal earlier this year. Nucinda will pay APS nearly $80,000 a year. The funds will be used for improving student success, the district says. Onto this developing this morning, UNM is asking for student input as it makes big plans to revamp its rec center. Johnson Hall is made up of many hallways leading to different rooms and amenities, including a lap pool, a pair of basketball courts, and a weight room. But the nearly 60-year-old building has not had a major renovation since 2000. Ideas to revamp Johnson Center include a climbing wall, a cycling studio, and a leisure pool. Total renovation could cost about $63 million. The first phase of the project is expected to be finished up by 2018.
Take a look at this. Police in Florida are looking for 3 men after a robbery goes horribly wrong for both the victim and for one of the suspects. It was all caught on surveillance cameras. In the video, you see 2 men go into the office of an auto shop, force the owner to the ground. That's when another man is pulled to the door. When the man hitting the owner notices a scuffle, the owner takes action, tangling up the robber's legs and gets the gun. He's able to shoot one of the suspects several times. The victim's then shot by another one of the suspects. The man who attacked the owner was taken to the hospital. So was the owner. No word on charges for the suspected robbers at this time. It's now 6:39. A New Mexico woman takes to social media